Hi guys, and welcome back to Double the Reaction.
As you can tell from the name, oh my god, I'm getting stuck with everything. We are going to be doing more than just reactions. That means we are going to be doing some cooking, some quizzes, maybe learning languages, talking news articles, and of course, reactions.
But today we are not doing reactions. You might be pleased, you might be a bit bored of the reactions from now. So we are doing news articles, and this is actually one that's been sent to us. I'll get to that in a minute. Do you like how I went straight in with the video?
Yeah, I did actually.
I sat down and spoke straight away.
Rather than bounce me.
Everyone up. I'm getting a lot better at it.
You are. Also, I just want to say, if you do have any recommendations for what you want us to do, then please either comment below or message us on Instagram at Down and Travel. I was waiting for you for like 5 minutes.
I was proper daydreaming. Yeah, or comment below, yeah. Have you already said that?
Yes.
Molly's already said that, so Molly's more on the ball than me. But today's news article is, so basically it's very new, and it's been recommended to us, and I actually saw it myself because we're trying to get back to the Philippines as soon as possible, and I was...
Where's my drink, please?
You
the pink
drinks.
one. Thanks.
You're...
Sorry. It's really hot here.
I'm going to have a drink as well. But yeah, I always go on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google, and
He's
just
basically
type
like an
in Philippines,
yeah.
Philippines, check news, see what's going on, and I actually come across this myself, a similar article anyway. And this article, the actual title of it is Why Duterte Won't Lift the World's Longest Lockdown. But basically it is that the Philippines has had the world's longest lockdown now out of all the countries in the world, which I think is crazy.
It says it's now set to run for 11 weeks or 80 days.
And it is just over... So Wuhan, it will be longer than the 76-day lockdown of Wuhan, so it will overtake the epicenter and the starting point of the COVID-19, and now the Philippines has been locked down for longer, even though they have had a significantly less deaths, significantly less...
Well, it obviously works.
Yeah, of course, yeah, they've had...
That's proof, right?
I think their deaths are still under 1,000. Any death is terrible, but to keep it down that low is a testament to them themselves. But is that lockdown now becoming too long?
So it's had less than 1,000 deaths.
Less than 1,000, 921. How many confirmed cases?
15,000.
15,000 confirmed cases, but the lockdown now I think will be over 80 days because this article's a few days old.
Yeah, it is. So it's until June, so I'm assuming when June hits, that will be then the longest. But the Philippines is going to have the world's longest and strictest coronavirus lockdown.
We know it's been strict all across. It started, well, as we were leaving in March. So we left 2 days before the official lockdown on the Friday. Was it Friday the 14th of March?
Something
Friday
like
the 13th was the official lockdown. We actually left 2 days before then.
That was crazy. In
hindsight, it was a mistake. We're probably going to make another video on this on our travel channel, at Down & Travel. But we feel like it was probably a mistake because the amount of deaths, the amount of cases,
we would be
the
safer.
UK's lockdown hasn't been great. We've always said that if we were locked down on a smaller island somewhere in the Philippines, some of them had 0 cases.
And the problem is, in the UK, people don't seem to listen.
No one takes it seriously. We've heard in the Philippines it's taken really seriously, which is what is needed. But has the lockdown been too long now? I don't know. I'm really not too sure.
So it says the lockdown has arguably done more damage to Filipino livelihoods, with more than 1 million jobs expected to disappear.
Yeah, that's the downside of lockdown. It's happened here as well. I think the whole world will end up in recession, some sort of recession. There's going to be lots of jobs lost, but you would prioritise a life over a job.
Of course. The thing that you've got with lockdown is that no one knows what's going to happen. Like, lockdown can work or it doesn't work, but it will still ruin jobs and livelihoods. I think that's the issue. In
terms of this, so like, according to the Philippine National Police, up to 41,000 people have been arrested for violating the enhanced community quarantine.
But that's what is not happening anywhere else. It's not happening here. It's
a good and a bad thing. Like, it depends on what they've done.
Yeah.
But like over here, for instance, people break the laws, or well, not the laws. Well, it's just a law now, I suppose, isn't it?
Break the lockdown rule.
The laws of the lockdown, and nothing happens.
I mean, for example, something very simple, like when we went into lockdown, you were only allowed out for a maximum of 1 hour once per day. Is that right?
Once, but people were going out as many times.
But people were going out as many times.
You could see it, everyone was going out. many times.
And you didn't get in trouble for that because there was no way for them to tell how long you'd been out.
No, and they've kept extending the lockdown I've seen in the Philippines. I'll again, always checking. I know Duterte has changed it from this date to this date to this date, and then certain places have been on a more enhanced lockdown than other places that have lower cases, which I think sort of makes sense. It's just, when does that lift? When does everything go back to normal, or the new normal? It's hard to figure out.
As you'd expect, 2/3 of the country's cases were in Metro Manila.
Yeah, which was always going to make sense. It's the same as London. London was the worst hit in the UK, but then has actually now started to drop off. It had its peak earliest, and then it's dropping off quicker than the rest of the UK. But only fairly much target. They want to hit around 8,000 tests a day, which will be good. But it's hard to test. We're in the UK now. We're now trying from today, trying the test and trace policy. But it's just hard to do. It's how long do you lock down? When have you reached the peak? And when do you start thinking of the economy? A little bit more, I suppose, because that's what it comes to. Schooling, kids need to be back in school.
I don't necessarily think it's about thinking about the economy, because I feel like you can't lock people down forever.
No.
Like, we don't know when a vaccine's going to come out. And we don't know how the coronavirus is going to, we don't know how it's going to do for other people. So you can't really say that.
That's my take on it, that you can't necessarily wait till there might not be a vaccine for 2 years. People can't be locked down for 2 years.
People couldn't live locked down,
you'll end up with more lives being lost through lack of jobs, lack of food, lack of proper healthcare, because the coronavirus is taking up a lot of the healthcare in most countries. Again, that's the case here, that it's hard to get a doctor's appointment, go to the hospital, because if it's not coronavirus, they don't really want to see you at the moment.
Which is fair enough, because you want to limit the amount of people that are going into the doctor's surgery for a reason, right? But I was going to say, so far the Philippines has tested just over 188,000 people. Critics are saying in a country of 100 million that's not so good, but I'm sure they'd rather test rather than not test, you know? No,
exactly. And
apparently they need to increase their testing to at least 30,000 a day for it to be successful. It's hard.
Which is really hard, and they're saying here that it could push the Philippines, or is pushing the Philippines, into recession for the first time since 97, 98, and it has been a huge boom in the Philippines. The economy's been rising and rising, but I don't know, what do you think? Obviously, a lot of you guys are from the Philippines, so comment below. What do you think? Do you think the lockdown needs to end now, or there needs to be new implementations to the lockdown to allow people to do certain things? Yeah, it's been eased. Yeah, no, we know it's been eased in certain places, but there is still a lockdown as such, isn't there?
Same as here. We are still on lockdown. You're not supposed to be doing things that we have noticed a huge change over here with cars on the road. So with your guys' lockdown being eased, has that changed ever so slightly? I'm sure that as soon as they mention the smallest thing, but you have a much stricter rules than us. Our rules aren't that strict. Yeah,
which, like, economically, in the long term, might not be the biggest benefit, but like I say, our life's more important. And even when we're in the Philippines, from January to March, we were getting our temperature tested in January. We were getting our temperatures tested at airports, shopping malls, everywhere. When we arrived back to the UK at let's say the middle of March, so almost 2 months later, we didn't get our temperatures checked. So the lockdown obviously works to a certain extent, because we've had 30 to 40,000 deaths. You haven't had 1,000 deaths yet. So as much as the lockdown might be hard for you in terms of saving lives, which is what is the most important thing of all, it is obviously working. It's just how much longer can it work before other things outweigh, because it's not just the virus that can cause deaths. Other things will come into play in the long term that will cause deaths. So other people not getting the medical treatment, more poverty being caused because of the recessions.
Also things like suicide, they're up at the minute in general across the charts, aren't they? Because people are, people being locked down in their houses. It's not good for you. It's not good for your state. I was going to read something, but you just moved it.
I'm moving it all about. I'm trying to read it all again as
you've literally just lost what I was. Okay, under the Bayanihan Tahilas 1 Act, don't quote me on pronunciation, Duterte has been given special powers to move, decide and act freely for the best interest of the Filipino people during this health crisis. So from my understanding, he can pretty much do what he wants in terms of moving people and to make sure that it's in people's best interest. So do you think that that is happening at the minute? I'd be interested.
Comment below, let us know. We'll also link this article below. There's a few similar ones from different...
this is from Asia Times.
Asia Times, but there's different ones from different news outlets. But it just depends what... I'm not going to get into politics. We don't want to talk politics in this. We just want to talk the lockdown. So is the what do you think? Comment below. It's been quite interesting talking about it. Is it in your best interests? Yeah. Do you think it's still in your best interest? Of course it was at first. And the death toll, like I say, any death is terribly sad, but your death toll is still reasonably low in comparison to a lot of the world. So in terms of that,
and your neighbours,
must have been a success. Yeah,
exactly.
But yeah, let us know what you think. This obviously not the happiest of things to talk about, but it's current, and we wanted to have our news things to be current. Maybe send us some like happy news articles to talk about. It will
be happy when we hear that we can finally all move freely and not be in lockdown anymore.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, what do you think? 80 days. How much longer will it be? I'm not too sure until the complete lockdown's gone. Will it be? I've heard things say that schools in the Philippines won't go back until there's a virus found. Is that feasible? Till there's a vaccine found, the virus has already been found. So that could be 2 years. So
I have a question. How long is too long?
Yeah, exactly. Comment below. Keep the news articles coming. Keep the reaction suggestions coming. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe, drop us a like,
and keep on dabbling.